Why do so many people buy expensive Ford F150s and giant pickup trucks in general? All they do with it is go from A to B, and carry basic stuff that can be done with a cargo bike or sedan, which makes me confused of why they would need a pickup truck for that. I've heard people say just in case, but that just in case moment never seems to actually happen. And if it does, they could just rent a truck. So what's the point of spending so much on a pickup truck? I'm a small truck guy. Toyotas only. Because I hunt and camp. They're reliable and can go just about anywhere. But when my wife wanted a camper trailer, I had to go larger because Toyotas can't tow very much. I don't love my F150. But it has the power to do what I need it to. And the larger bed has been really useful to load up kayaks or bikes. I have 3 kids. The interior is much larger too, which is nice. I have an F150. Cost the same as any other SUV-style rig. Needed it to haul a trailer. Now use it for dirt bike, 4-wheeler, lumber, and other supplies I don't want in my car. From a mileage efficiency perspective, I get the same mileage as the last 2 SUVs I had. Made no difference in fuel cost. I have a Ford Ranger. I do not need my truck for work. I need it for my house. I make a dump run at least once a week. I tow my boat to the lake 7 or 8 times in a summer. I tow my lawnmower to my grandmother's house 2 or 3 times a month. It was invaluable when we moved into our new house last year. However, 90% of people will never see me doing any of that, since most of the time I drive it to work. Tax write-off if you own a business. Big enough truck and it counts as heavy equipment. Land Rover near me advertises this and will help you do it. I've gone back and forth here. I had a Tundra and only used it to haul a few times. I sold it for a new sedan. I liked the mileage but hated the lack of usability. I also have dogs and hated putting them in a nice interior with clean glass and everything. Now I have the new sedan for commuting and an old Beta F150 that I use on weekends. It's filthy and I love it. I work loading trucks and pickups with soil, sand, dirt, gravel, etc. One thing I have concluded is that the bigger and taller the pickup, the bigger the pussy driving it. They refuse to load them and or get them dirty. They are a bunch of white-collar guys too that definitely don't need such big pickups. I've lived a life that has taught me that you don't need many things in life. One of those, that I don't need a 70k pickup that I'd only drive for less than an hour a day and parked outside for over 10 hours at a time. Many of the trucks you see on the road are leases or company write-offs. You can't write off a car as a company car for use in construction. But you can write off a work truck used for hauling gear around. Whether it gets used as such or not is debatable. But I see it in the fishing industry a lot. You are seeing trucks not doing much and assuming that's the case all the time. For a few truck owners that's the car. For the majority it's not. Like 10 of truck owners I know actually use their truck as a truck. Everyone else just likes trucks or it's a status thing. Very weird thing to waste money on. GIF GIFY YYHT2 UTV41 U1VX HTS is downsized. It's the USA. Americans love their big old dang vehicles. I have one because I live in a rural area with poorly maintained mountain roads and shortcuts through logging roads. A minivan would suit some of my needs, but it doesn't have 4-wheel drive or the clearance I need. As for people who drive them in the suburbs and cities, it's purely aesthetics. I just saw a guy in a tricked-out Jeep with huge tires and all the light bars and whatnot. There's about a 500 section of road that they dug up and covered in rough concrete. Dude was going like 15 miles per hour in his badass off-road vehicle. I pull a camper almost every other weekend in the summer and haul kayaks on top and need a cab large enough for me. So and my dog and a few other things. People have hobbies and interests. Why does someone pay insane amounts for food when rice is sustainable and cheap? All it does is give you nutrients. People like what they like. You probably like stuff that others find weird too. In the thread, people explaining all of the obvious, well-known uses for a truck. Are you in the middle of a city op? I would never own a truck in a city, but in the country they have vastly more utility. Also, they are much safer compared to sedans when driven safely. My father and uncle have pickup trucks. My dad having 3 with one is broken as hell and unusable. They have work relating to carrying stuff around. My dad being the owner of a quarry and my uncle of a small store. Either way, they're good utility and, at least in my family, the just-in-case thing happens often enough to be justifiable. Because I need the bed and haul wood loads and equipment a lot. No regrets. I have a 2500 Silverado. I don't tow shit with it. I do, however, haul stuff in the bed. And I don't get shit for gas mileage 11 mpg. I hate the money I spend on gas and I hate how much I've put into fixing things on it. But yet I love it. I also got a killer deal on it and didn't want to pass it up. Putting the money I did into it, I was still thousands below what I should have paid. And your argument of just in case is a fact. There have been a lot of instances where I've needed a truck in the past and didn't have one. Monday to Friday, yes. They're just going from A to B and not hauling a lot of tools. In the weekends, these are the people with side jobs. Large home projects, boats, trailers, helping their friends move, collecting scrap, and mulching the garden. They are typically people who like to be involved hands-on and DIYers. And good on 'em for having that kind of motivation. Hauling a camper. I have horses, so need it for hauling, picking up feed and hay. All the trucks I see around me are being used to pull farm wagons or other construction equipment. But I also live in a farming area and like to avoid cities, so that might be skewing my observations. You ever try to haul 30 bags of mulch in a Corolla? Give it a shot and get back to me. Plus, it looks good doing it, and in the winter I tell snow to kiss my ass. Because they like them. They're comfortable and functional. I got a Tundra last year, V8 5.7 liter. Will pull damn near anything I need it to. Wasn't thrilled on the price, it is what it is lol. Only negative is its 14 mpg average. But I'm not bitching. I love it and works for everything I need it to. I got 2 buddies that have Rams, one brand new one and the other about 4 years old or so. They do even put anything in the bed of the truck. Shit's silly, but it's their money. Shouldn't bitch about what others spend their money on. Status, desire to convince others they're a specific kind of man who does stuff and needs a truck. But I'd estimate only 25 of truck owners I personally know actually use their truck as a truck. The rest just made poor financial choices for status and get horrible gas mileage. Most places that rent trucks won't let you tow with them. If you own a boat, ATV, trailer, etc., your only option is towing it yourself. They're also good for winter driving if you live in a place where it snows a lot, although and SUV can be just as good.